Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday. It is December 2nd. It's kind of fun, right? When the day starts on a Monday. Feels like, it's even. I don't know how to explain that. But anyways, I'm going to wait for some people to come on really quick because I thought, hey, let's do the Soul Truth Self-Awareness card deck. Daily questions that will transform your life. But two came out, and I don't know which one I want to use. So whoever came on first, or whoever, you guys pick. One or two. You pick the card for me, please. Pretty please. So I see two people on. I'm not sure who's on yet, but good morning, or good afternoon, good evening. So, anybody? I'm not seeing comments either, so maybe that's part of the problem. Good morning, Muddy. So one or two, Muddy, one or two. Good morning, cousin. Okay, she picked two. All right, so my cousin picked number two. So maybe we'll do this one tomorrow for Self-Care Wednesday. But good. They both picked number two. So I guess that was the one. I thought about it, but then I was like, this is a hard one. So I'll let them pick. Okay, let me try again. Good morning, older sibling. If I had a magic wand and could have anything I desired in life, what would I choose? Okay, if I had a magic wand and could have anything I desired in life, what would I choose? But there's more. Burn with desire. There is power in your desires. Let them be your fuel today. Your desires are your soul's wings, and it's time to take flight. So today's soul action is, today, go inward. Your answers lie within. What do you desire? Choose what makes you happy and do that. Choose what makes you happy and do that. So the interesting thing about this card is the other day, I was praying and I'm all like, please just show me my purpose. Why am I here? Just please show me my purpose, give me a purpose, something. But what about you guys? If you had a magic wand and could have anything you desired in life, what would you choose? But here's the thing, okay? Remove money. All right, because everybody always says money, because unless you have money coming out of your eyeballs, we could all always use a little bit more, right? But so that's the easy answer. And, I would say love, but for me, that's the hard answer now. That used to be the answer. And now it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm almost, I have a birthday coming up pretty soon. And, I'm been single for like 1,000 years now. I'm like eternally single. I feel like I'm a born again virgin. So, single in every way. But yeah, and part of that's been me, part of that's just been life, part of that's been, probably mostly me just being afraid. But yeah, even when people that you trust who can see, into the ether say, no, they're out there, and they just haven't shown up, you just start to wonder if that's a thing. So, mine used to be love, but I'm not sure it is anymore, because, the tighter I hold on to that dream, the more it hurts. So, older sibling says her dream house, which is still kind of money, but I'm surprised she didn't say to be in remission for her CRPS, right? These are the things I'm talking about. We always sit there and say, if I had a magic wand and could have anything I desired in life, what would I choose? We always choose the big things, right? The things that are seemingly out of our grasp. But are they out of our grasp? I don't think so. If she wants her dream house, I feel like she can manifest her dream house. Just like I feel like she can manifest her CRPS going into remission. What about you? Come on, Jeannie and Sammy. You two are on here. What are your dreams? If you had a magic wand, just what would you come up with? Anybody? Bueller? I'm still trying to think on mine. More guidance in life. I understand that. But I think that's where the other side comes in. Today, go inward. Your answers lie within. Your answers lie within because you have given great guidance. You have been there for me too, in person. Just kind of rolling with me over the last year. And I don't know. I feel like your guidance is there, and I'm not doing an oracle here, okay? I'm just telling you what's coming out of my face, and it could be Archangel Gabriel, it could be some higher power tapping into my noggin. I don't know. But I feel, because I know you, and because I love you, and because you're my cousin, that you do not trust yourself enough. You don't. You don't trust yourself enough. You are an amazing human being. And you are there for people. We all have obstacles in our life, and we all feel like, we hit bumps in the road. But speaking, from a Catholic point of view, because my cousin is Christian, I don't think God expects perfection. He doesn't. He just expects you to live your life the best that you can and to be happy. Older sibling still has not said what I feel like she should have said. And that's just me. I mean, because she misses her parents. She said she would bring her parents back and she would heal her ex-husband. Yeah, because they're still best friends. They truly are still best friends. And tomorrow's his birthday. A big birthday. And he's flying to Paris for it. That's going to be pretty awesome, right? But if your parents were still here, your father would be 97, and your mama would be 89, 88, 89. Her parents were 8 years apart. No, they were 6 years apart. So your mama would be 91. 91, that's right. They're 1934. So here's the thing, though. Would they have quality of life? Would you bring them back as your parents when you were young? And would they realize it? This is what I'm talking about. So somebody give me something. If you had a magic wand. Now, I love the ideas. I love the ideas. I mean, I would love to have another conversation with my mother in physical form. But, and I would love to bring her back. I would love to have a time machine and be able to have that magic wand and just cure her. But at the same time, I feel like, what happened was, it pushed me into growth, Oh, oh, cousin, I know. She's what I really want right now. I have no control of grandkids from my 2 sons. I know the kids nowadays, right? And it does make it hard. But Sammy says, if I could have anything, it would be peace. Not peace of mind and heart, because I can do that, but peace around me. Mostly peace for other people so the chaos would go away. That's a good one. I mean, they're all good, okay? Guidance in your life, your dream house, your parents, healing somebody. Those are all great. And I like this one, though, because I think if there was less chaos around all of us, we might feel like we have guidance. We might feel like we can manifest these things. We might feel like we can touch base with the ether and talk to our family on the other side. Because I do think that's possible. I know there's people out there that think that that's absolutely impossible. Last night, Dad and I watched Violent Night. I know you're like, what? Why are you bringing up a violent action movie based on Christmas and Santa? Because here's the thing. The story starts out with a kind of jaded Santa, right? And he's just kind of like, ugh, they all want the same thing over and over and over again. It's great that they believe in me, but they want money or they want video games. Nobody wants anything real, I mean, they're real, obviously, but it's just kind of like, it's almost like, oh, Santa's a wish machine. And Santa starts getting jaded, and he's been Santa he was a former Viking turned Santa. He doesn't know how the magic works. But, and he kind of says that through the whole movie. It's a great movie. I love this movie. And I've been trying to get my dad to watch it, but I don't think he realized what I was trying to say. So I just put it on yesterday and we watched it. He liked it. He liked it so much he ended up buying it and putting it in his collection of movies. But the little girl in the movie, you know, because Santa comes and helps her with some bad guys, you know, and it's kind of a neat little thing. It's like a little bit of a play on a bunch of different Christmas movies like Die Hard and Home Alone. And, you know, like if Die Hard and Home Alone had a baby and, you know, a heist, that would be it. So I'm guessing that might be where he got his idea, whoever wrote it. But, you know, don't let the title deceive you, because in the end, because somebody believed in him so much and got everyone else around her to believe in him, he finds his magic again. And it's not this magic, it's this magic. The peace inside of himself, the reason, right? The number one reason why he does what he does, why he has that magical bottomless pit of a bag that has gifts for every girl and boy, right? And, or, you know, so, and I really like that. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because I think when we talk about believing, you know, manifesting is simply a magic wand, whether it's praying, whether it's setting an intention, or just calling it straight out what it is, which is manifesting. If you believe in it and it has good genes, you know, for lack of a better word, you are probably going to bring it into your life. And when I say probably, because not everything we wish for directly is meant for us. So that's why I always say when I do the oracles, you know, this or something better. This or something better. You know, if you're praying to God, you know, like, dear Lord, please bring me this or whatever is meant for me. You know, pray for guidance. You know, more guidance in your life. I'm not sure where you need the guidance in your life. I'm happy to sit down and talk with you just so you can talk it out. Sometimes when I sit down with older sibling and I talk things out, I find my guidance in there. And I realize it's been within me all this time. You know, and then, you know, there's siblings' wishes, you know, wanting her dream house or wanting her parents back and for her ex-husband to feel good again, to have his health back, because I mean, he's still relatively young. You know, he's not old by any stretch of the imagination, not in modern day times. Now, you go 100 years ago, this guy's ancient, right? But nowadays people live to such an older age that when they're upended by an illness, it just kind of, and it's not, you know, it's one of those illnesses that, you know, this isn't to take away from anybody, and I don't want to give anything away because this is not really my story to tell, but it's one of those illnesses that really makes life inconvenient. And I don't know how else to put that, because I know all illnesses make life inconvenient. But on a very personal, physical level, it makes life very inconvenient. So, you're going to have to take that for what it is, because like I said, this is not my story to share. This isn't my place to say this, but like I said, I realize all illnesses are difficult, but, knowing what I know and knowing what I've been told, I realize that this, you know, it comes with some major issues. So, yeah, and I'm sitting here like, I don't know, right? I mean, I made you guys answer, but I don't know. I do like the more guidance in life. And I think, like I said, I think sometimes we just don't trust ourselves, or we're afraid to ask, right? Have you talked to your pastor cousin about this? You know, maybe sit down and powwow with her, or maybe some of your church sisters, or, you know, with Sammy. I love the idea of world peace, and to be honest with you, or peace around us. And I'll be honest with you. So this is my take on this. I have been trying for the last who knows how long, because I'm terrible at it as well, reminding people to put love into this world, reminding people to put kindness into this world, reminding people that we need to be nicer to each other. We need to be better. We need to remove politics from it all and just look at each other and go, okay, I love you. no matter what, no matter how you feel, no matter what you think, no matter where you put your belief systems, okay, whether it's a higher power or politics. And because of all the chaos in this world, you know, you might be having a great day, and then you're like, yeah, I love you, you're pretty awesome, hey, over there in accounting, keep up the good work, you know, do the things, do the do. And then you might open up your social media and go, oh, for fuck's sake. And then everything you just did disappeared because now you're angry or now you're upset. And it may not be where you're just become violently angry, right? You're just kind of like, argh. No, you might just be like, ugh. And it takes the joy from you. It steals that whim that you had. And I think because we can't seem to stay off of social media, some people are really good at it, other people are not. I am not. We have to learn how to just scroll past it. We have to learn how to not give it more power. Think of it as the movie Monsters, Inc., right? If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert. So in Monsters, Inc., they have this, you know, they have Monsterlandville. I can't remember what it's called, but I do love the movie. But, you know, and their whole thing is they sneak in, you know, there's doors, right? They have doors. And they use these doors to go into kids' bedrooms and scare them. Because, you know, it fills up their tank, and this is what powers the city. So they have a whole big factory, like the Scare Factory, right? And they have the Scare Floor, and that's where Sully and Mike Wazowski comes in. I know his name is Mike, but I cannot help but say his whole name. It's just an awesome name, Mike Wazowski. But then, you know, they find a room, and the girl is so intrigued by Sully that she ends up in the Scare Factory. And, you know, they look at humans as being like germs, right? And so all of a sudden it becomes this huge ordeal. It's a cute movie, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, they realized that it was laughter that actually gave them more energy. So in the end, you know, they're going in there and they're trying to make the kids laugh instead of scaring them. And I love the idea of that story, because even though not every day gives us a reason to laugh through, we spend more time with our heads down on our desks, just kind of banging our head against the desk, than we do looking at everything around us. Looking at what we have around us. Being grateful for the roof over our head. Being grateful for the cup of coffee, although I wish my dad had a Keurig, because making a pot of coffee every couple of days is a pain in my ass. I'm so lazy. But honestly, it's because we waste more coffee than we drink. But I think if we learned how to just do gratitude again, you know, just be grateful for something in the morning. You know, I mean, I remembered, you know, I reminded myself for 3 days in a row to make sure that the first words out of my mouth were rabbit, rabbit yesterday, right? And yet I can't remember to say thank you for a new day every day. And I think sometimes with all the chaos in the world, we just get so conditioned to just being negative instead of positive. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to find a way to quiet the chaos and fill it with some kind of love or joy. Now, I don't mean toxic positivity. I mean, just if you're not feeling it tomorrow or today, just be like, yeah, you know what? I'm not, but I'm grateful for today. Even if that's all you can manage, I'm grateful for today. Because maybe like the movie I was just talking about, not Monsters, Inc., but Violent Night, that's what Santa needed. He needed one kid to show him that he mattered, that they weren't just taking advantage, like, oh, I believe in you, but I want money and video games. And all she wanted was her parents to get back together. That was it. You know, she's like, but she also remembered the best friend that Santa had bought her, which was a bunny, because she was feeling kind of alone. And there was just this connection with them, right? And that's what I liked, was that even Santa was having kind of an existential crisis, you know, and it was just the belief of a child that brought him back and reminded him why he does what he does, why he is who he is. And yes, it's just a movie, but you know, sometimes when we look at life through the eyes of a child, you know, next time you pass a park, look at how whimsical they are. Look at how they have no cares in the world. And you might think, well, that's because they're kids, but it doesn't have to be. I know I have responsibilities, but I try really hard to remain in kind of a whimsical state of mind just because of my own dinged up mental health. And it doesn't always work. Sometimes I just spiral, and I think I spiraled over the last couple of weeks, and I'm finally feeling normal again. But it's because I'm catching these things faster. And it's because, you know, I kind of limit now. Ever since a couple of weeks ago when I started feeling myself kind of getting all squirrely in the brain, I thought to myself, I need to post more positive stuff, less politics, more positive stuff. And I think that's probably what we all need. We need to feel, you know, people know. Okay, and you may convince 1 out of 10 about what you're trying to say, if that, depending on where, you know, they stand. But chances are we're just making them angrier. And that doesn't mean I don't post things that I think, you know, I want to share. But I'm trying to outnumber that now with posts of positivity, posts of love, posts on how to be kind to one another, good stories, you know, stories of people that helped each other. I read a story the other day about a woman who was of Jewish background, and she wouldn't fly the Nazi flag over her school. Instead, she organized a hiking trip and spirited away 66 of her students out of Germany. Now, you should read the whole story. It's on my Facebook page. I haven't made it public though, so I probably should have. But it was a great story. But here's the thing, it's not just a story. It's something someone did. Someone looked fear in the eye and said, this is going to be hard, but we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to figure it out, and we're going to do this. And there's other people, you know, there's other amazing, amazing people in the world. But here's the thing, just because they're known and we're not, doesn't mean we're not amazing. Every single one of you watching this right now, whether you're watching live or watching later, you are an amazing human being, and you can make a difference. We can make a difference. I can't bring back siblings' parents. I can work on her husband the best I can. I can't make my cousin have grandkids, but one can, you know, hope springs eternal, right? But the one thing I can do is I can find peace in myself so that in my general vicinity of my energy, the chaos starts to quiet down. And I think if every single one of us does that, we just leave the house in a good, cheery mood, who knows? Maybe the more excited or happy you feel, maybe the better you feel. It will, your little energy circle will extend, and you never know who you're going to hit. You may walk by someone who's having a horrible day and all of a sudden they feel better, and it's because your energy is magnetic, you know. And that's what we need to do. We need to find a way to quiet the chaos, to find the calm in the chaos, to find the peace in the chaos. And that doesn't mean that any of these answers on here were wrong. I would love, like I said, to have my mother back. So I get where older siblings coming from. I would love to have grandkids, so I get where my cousin's coming from, but I never had kids, so I'm already 2 behind. So I don't even have a chance. But no, and I get it, older sibling. I'm not trying to say anything bad about what you're saying. What I wanted to do was I wanted to go deeper than what we want right out in the open, because she says that was the magic wand theory. But the magic wand theory also came with this. There is power in your desires. Let them be your fuel today. Your desires are your soul's wings, and it's time to take flight. And then it says, today go inward. Your answers lie within. What do you desire? Choose what makes you happy and do that. So it was going beyond wishing. It was asking you, what is it that you absolutely want in life that you can make happen for yourself? And really, it's your dream house. So what do you need to do to make that happen? Now, granted, yeah, money is always helpful, and that's good, but you got to manifest it. You got to manifest it, and you got to do it in the divine right way, because you don't want anyone dying so you can have your house. All right? That's why I always say this or something better. This or something better. And I get where you're coming from, but I think that's just it. I think we all sit on this surface, because like I said, mine would be to find my soulmate and fall in love. But 20 bazillion years later, still waiting. And so I have to think of something different. You know, I would love to be published. I would love to get out of my own way. But honestly, if I had that magic wand, and this just hit me now, if I had that magic wand, I would tap myself on the head and in my heart and on my heart and just want myself to trust myself more, to believe in myself more, to have faith in myself more, to know that as I walk through life, I am deserving of the good things that come to me, because I struggle with that. When people do nice things for me, I struggle with that, but I love to do nice things for people. But when they do it for me, it's kind of like, are you sure? No, you don't have to do that. You know, it's never just thank you, right? There's like 5,000 phrases that, you know, precede thank you. And that's just usually because by then they're just looking at you like, really? Just say thank you. And yet here I am when they're like, are you sure? I'm like, just say thank you. And yet I struggle with that. So none of these answers that are out here are wrong. But I just wanted for the show, and maybe even for myself, because I struggle with it, to go deeper, to have someone guide me into going deeper. And having this conversation with all of you helped me go deeper, and to realize that the reason a lot of the things I don't have that I really, really want is because I don't trust myself. I don't believe in myself enough. I don't have the self-esteem or the self-confidence I wish I had. And then when I do have that self-confidence, I feel like I'm being a narcissist, which is absolutely not the case. And I think that's why a lot of us struggle with that, because we may show confidence and someone will say, oh, well, you know, aren't you just, you know, all self-centered? No, you're not being self-centered. Having confidence is extremely different from being a narcissist. Having a confidence means, hey, yeah, you know what? I'm going to write this book, and no matter how hard it is, I'm going to get it published. Being a narcissist says, well, if they don't want my book, they're a bunch of assholes because I'm the greatest in the world. There's the difference. Self-confidence and having confidence is believing in yourself. Not telling the world to believe in you, not telling the world to love you. It's you believing in you and you loving yourself. And I lack that. And that's what I really, really want to find in life, is that trust in myself. And okay, sibling says I do that too, but I'm not sure where, because a lot of times when they respond, they're responding to something I've said, and I say a lot of things because I'm the only one talking here. So, no, I don't. Okay, so this clearly went off the rails with older sibling. I didn't mean to put down what you were saying. That was not my intention. But I wanted to see if anybody would go deeper, you know, without having to pull it out. But this is also the kind of person that she is. She would love to bring her parents back. She would love to have her dream house. She would love to heal her ex-husband. But not once did she really ask for anything for herself. I mean, except the dream house. And yes, you might think, well, having all these things wouldn't, you know, having her parents back, having her dream house. But she never asked to heal her body. Because she thinks about everybody else, just like Jeannie does, just like Sammy does. They put everybody first. And it's okay to put yourself first from time to time. That's what self-care is. Self-care is not selfish. It is necessary. And maybe that's why sometimes we can't find that guidance in our life. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know with older sibling, she says, when someone gives her something, it's hard to receive. Yes, I know. I know that firsthand. But she loves to give. But boy, when you try to give her something, it's kind of like, no, you didn't have to do that, and blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, well, what would you do if it were me? That's different. No, it's not different. That's lack of confidence, my love. That is sheer lack of confidence and self-esteem. Because we don't feel like we deserve things, and we do. I think that's the whole point. We do deserve good things. We do deserve nice things. And I don't mean just good things and nice things on the material level. I mean just in life in general. You know, don't worry about what happened yesterday. Don't worry about what happened 20 years ago. Don't worry about what happened any time before this moment right now. Not even half an hour ago. Because that's the past. And we can't do anything about that. We can't change that. So, you know, I wasn't trying to question, I promise. I was not trying to question whatever anybody was saying. I was just wondering, you know, if people are like me, where it's like, I forget to go deep. I forget to look farther within myself to see what it is that I would truly use my magic wand for. I mean, hell, I'd use it on my dad to make him feel better so he gets out there and gets living again, you know? But again, I can't force people to do things. So ultimately, it's about what can I do for me that will help everybody else? What can I do to bring more calm to this world and remove some of that chaos? And I think we all can add that peace to the world. We can pray, we can manifest, but we can also just, you know, show kindness. Show kindness. I mean, sometimes you go on social media, right? And somebody just posts one thing and you'll see all these nice comments, and then you always have those one or two people, especially if it's a public post, who are just complete ass clowns. You know, it's like, why are you even here? Why are you bothering? It's like, can you just be negative on your own page and not spread it here? This person is just sharing how they're feeling in a public forum, granted, and it's their every right to say something, but the question is, why? Why? And who knows? They could be the nicest person on the planet, but that's because they attack everybody online. And that's where they get their aggressions out, because they don't know how to deal with it in person. So they yell at everybody else so they feel better, not realizing that they could be hurting someone. They could be driving someone over the edge. To which I say, why? That's where the chaos is. And we have to figure out how to put the calm in the chaos. It's as simple as that. So I do like everybody's wishes, though. Jeannie, I hope you get your grandbabies at some point in your life. Older sibling, I do hope you get your dream house, and I do hope the ex-hubs gets healed. I am working on that, but I can only do so much. Sometimes people have to let go what's inside of them in order for themselves to heal, and some people feel like they have dealt with it and maybe have not, and so it just kind of sits there, just that hidden anger underneath everything. So also, I want to wish older siblings stepmom Gladys a happy birthday today. She would have been 105 this year. Wow. But that's okay. So I'm going to share this with you. One last thing before I go. So yesterday I was talking to a sibling, and she's all, hey, today would have been Uncle Gene's birthday. Her uncle, he was one of the architects on the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland. But that was her grandmother's baby brother. So she's all, it was his birthday today. And she's all, and just like this, she's all like, yeah, if he was still alive, he'd be 113. But it made me laugh out loud to the point where people around me, because I was at a Starbucks, were looking at me. And I laughed because I laughed legit out loud, because the way she said it was, if cancer hadn't tripped him up in 1974, this man would still be alive. And why the hell not? Because Uncle Gene was a big kid, according to Laura. And he's one of those people that I wish I could have met, you know, but, you know, by the time I met her, he would have been, gosh, I don't know, probably in his 80s, probably early 80s, so maybe late 70s. But it was just the way she said it. She said it like, yeah, he'd still be alive if, you know, and believe it or not, sibling told me that he had pancreatic cancer. So I tell you, that cancer takes out people like that. So anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so, so much for opening up. I just want to say this really quick again, just my last disclaimer, I promise, and then I will let you go. I feel bad because I feel like maybe I reacted to these things wrong, incorrectly. I did not mean to diminish anybody's magic wand theory. Okay, I did not. Because the first thing I thought of is, oh, I'd love money. And then the second thing I thought of when I saw it is, oh, I'd love to be in love. And then it's like, no, I think I'd want to be in love first. And, you know, or to just fall in love and find my person. And then I thought, but it's always the same thing. That's why I tried to remove money from it. That's why I tried to remove material things from it. Because I wanted to see if people would go deeper. So there's nothing wrong with wanting a dream house. There's nothing wrong with wanting grandkids. There's nothing wrong with wanting calm in the chaos. You know, and I was just curious what everybody would say, or finding more guidance in life. And I really do think for the guidance, either, you know, maybe speak to your pastor, or just trust yourself a little bit more, because you're doing a great job. I just don't think you're giving yourself enough credit for doing that. All right. Because you got a lot on your plate too right now. All right. So, with the other Uncle Gene. So anyways, you know, okay. Thank you, cousin. I appreciate that. But yeah, and you know, I'm going to hang up and call older sibling and do my apology tour there. So anyways, but no, I did not mean to diminish anybody's wishes, because I would love it all. I would love all of it. Older sibling's parents were a hoot. Her step-parent, her stepmom was a hoot. They were all great people, and they were all so kind and loving and warm and very welcoming of me, and just, you know, kind of took me under the wing as like the other daughter, because, you know, older sibling was like my sister, or is like my sister. Sorry, she's still here. Older sibling is like my sister, my soul sister. So, you know, it's always, you know, I can never have too much family. I mean, I already have a big family, but I can never have too much family, Hanai or otherwise. So anyways, again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so, so much for watching. Please take care of yourselves, and, you know, journal today. Journal with the card. Journal about the card. You know, why not? You know, but also, you know what? Let's make it fun. Journal about the things you'd want. If you want your dream house, how do you go about getting it? What does your dream house look like? You know, what is the view? Where is it at? And journal these things. Write them down. Make it happen. Make it a reality. Everything is possible if you let it be. Oh, just like the Mary Poppins song in the Mary Poppins stage musical. Anything can happen if you let it. All right? So, take care of yourselves, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.